Are you recording?
Now, just for are you going to be doing these in like each segment, or is it going to be continuous, or just so I understand what the plan is?
Just continuous.
Just continuous. Okay,
Yeah.
that's right. That's fair.
What is your name, and can you tell us a little about yourself?
Sure. I'm Erik Spande. I live in Winfield, Illinois, and I've been there since 1996. And I have been the previous village president in Winfield, and also the president of the Illinois Prairie Path Not-for-Profit Corporation. So I moved to the Winfield area specifically because the forest preserve and the trails, which have been pretty much a strong driver for me for my entire life.
Nice. What makes you the strongest candidate for this position?
Superior communication, superior qualifications as an environmental scientist, and a strong resume of leadership. Specifically with communication, as in Winfield's previous village president, I was able to engage with a community discussion to resolve one of the most contentious issues, which is commercial development. Got that resolved, and everybody came out happy, and now that project is moving along. In terms of qualifications, I'm an environmental scientist with over 30 years experience working for a Fortune 500 engineering company, 25,000 employees, revenue of about $14 billion a year, and worked on projects that are over $1 billion internationally, and also everything from transportation to environmental remediation to water resources evaluation, since I'm a hydrogeologist. And so I think that makes me by far the best qualified candidate. In addition, I'm the former mayor of Winfield. So I was able to get the budget in order for the first time in a generation. I was able to fix $5 million of roads without raising taxes, which is a big deal. Able to kickstart development throughout the village, and also was able to save the police department from being outsourced. So I believe all of that means that I have a pretty darn good resume, and I would offer a significant amount of work and to collaborate with the board to make better decisions.
Nice. What does the Forest Reserve do for the citizens of DuPage County?
DuPage County benefits from the Forest Reserve because of health and wellness, connection to the environment, and also connection to communities and other resources. With respect to connection to the environment, we could not buy the Forest Reserve if we wanted to right now. The individuals who conceptualized it back in the day and were able to fund it was before DuPage County was all built out. Now, frankly, there isn't that much open space left. And what that does is that then helps issues like flooding, and since of course the wetlands and the low areas, you don't want to build with that anyway, and it's a perfect opportunity. In terms of health and wellness, gives us an opportunity to get out, use the trail systems, which is a fundamental part of the Forest Preserve, and also lets us get out to the third piece, which is connection to nature. So I can almost imagine that I'm not in DuPage County, which is almost 1 million people, when I get out, say, on the Elgin branch of the Illinois Prairie Path or the Winfield Mountains, because you've got a huge amount of naturalized area, which again, as an environmental scientist, I think is critical to having all of us have a better sense of self. And we want to get away from the hubbub every now and again.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell us the main things that you want to accomplish during your term for the Forest Reserve, and how you do that?
Okay. The first objective was fiscal responsibility. As the former mayor, I know that that's one of the critical issues that any board is required. You've got to be a good steward. Mm-hmm. That means you've got to find innovative solutions to meeting the needs for infrastructure and amenities, and also for environmental restoration. The second item is environmental restoration and preservation. I believe that I also can offer a significant amount of extra work and capabilities for that, as I mentioned previously. And the third item is having additional facilities and recreation above and beyond nature. For instance, parks, extra restrooms, and also accessibility, since I know that many people otherwise would not feel invited in.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell us?
Well, I have had an enormous passion for the environment. I consider myself an environmentalist that can do math. So I've got my background is as a hydrogeologist, which is a geologist specialized in groundwater science. I'm kind of a nerdy guy that way. I've used that to my advantage to find solutions, and I like to evaluate things by putting in a giant matrix cost benefit analysis. And that's how you were able to get to better solutions. And I did that as Winfield's mayor to all the items that I mentioned before: fix the police, save the roads, make sure the infrastructure was in good shape. And by the time I was done with that for 8 years, I had fixed all the major problems. I said, I'm ready to move on to something different. So, and when I became village president in 2013, the village was financially crippled, the roads were falling apart. By the time I left, financial reserves were topped off, had a historic agreement with Central DuPage Hospital, I was winning innovation awards from my fellow mayors for all the good work, and I can basically hand it off to the next board and say, I gave them the advice, don't mess it up.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you for your
appreciate
time.
it. Yep, appreciate it, everyone, and so thank you.
Shake hands.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.